Welcome everyone to Fate Podcast, where we discuss film, anime, television, and other forms of entertainment. I'm your host Elijah, and we have my co-host here, Sam. What's up? What's up? And
Uh,
today, you know, we're gonna talk about a movie that's came out a couple weeks ago, kind of big, kind of not. Maybe I don't know. It depends about it depends of your outlook on the movie. So today we're going to talk about Black Widow. So Sam, what do you think about it?
so I know I told you before that I was nervous going into that movie just
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, man, the hype is over. But you know what? I went in and I thoroughly enjoyed it a lot. I think, which I'll get into later, I just kind of felt sad that it was like we should have had this sooner. That
Mm,
was like I loved it, but I can't that I came away from it just going, this should have happened a long time ago.
okay. All right. Here's the thing. Um, you know, I agree with your statement right now, but we should have had it a long time ago. And then, you know, but I think the way Disney did it, being late to the game didn't work for their advantage in my thing. Like, yes, you should have had it, you know, you know, 8 7 years ago. um but right now I feel like it's too late because me going to watch the movie, although it has its strong points and good things about the movie, I just felt like I'm just like, okay, I know how the basically I know how the movie is gonna end. You know, there was like no surprise. There was no like, oh my god, she's in danger of dying, or there was none of that because I'm like, especially I'm like, they started it the movie where she's running away because she ran away from the Wycovian, I think that's how I pronounce it. That's the name, Accords or something like that.
Sokovian.
The Covian Accords, yes. So she ran away from that. I'm like, okay, so you're right in the middle of the story, pre Infinity Wars. So I was just like, well,
Yeah.
you're not gonna die.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Where they wanted to do it, it's just
Yeah,
like, couldn't you have done this in phase three?
yeah.
I don't know,
Hmm.
but I guess later on they make sense as to why they do it, and but we'll get into that later. But yeah, I say overall, the final product, I was thoroughly entertained. It was good. Um, like even from the start, like you get to see her with that it kind of gives you a sort of the American style thing where she's a part of this normal American family that,
Hmm.
they're just secretly Russian agents and stuff. And, they have to do their big trip. And, then when it kind of gets into reality and you kind of see what happens and you see through the facade and her sister, Yelena, they get taken away and it kicks on that, a very spooky and haunting take of Smells Like Teen Spirit plays. And honestly, I thought I was going to kind of hate that at first, but I
Hmm.
I thought it was really good. And what I thought more than anything though, because it kind of shows you pictures of all the kids going into these crates, I'm like, oh, okay, Marvel going dark here. We're going to talk about
I
human
know,
trafficking today, aren't we?
I know,
Okay.
I know,
Jesus, strap up, everybody.
I know. It was they kind of hit that marker, bro. Because I was like, human trafficking, like, I, call it what it is. It was human trafficking. I don't care
Uh,
what. It don't have to be sex trafficking,
Human
but it's still
trafficking.
human trafficking. What happened?
I just went into the mic closer. It's just like human trafficking.
Yeah,
Yes, just
definitely. I'm like, okay,
100%.
you went there. What rating you gave this movie, Marvel? Like, but yeah, it kind of went dark in the beginning. And basically, if you want to take it dark, it was dark throughout the whole movie. But Marvel, they kind of light it up with like, because now you have someone that's a slave and all of the stuff. But that's that's here or there. But yeah, the plot of the movie was fine for me. Like, the way her fake family and her trying to get the bad guy. was obviously the typical Marvel movie, but the way how they approached it was good. I just this I just felt like it wasn't a Marvel film for me. Like I had to
Uh,
remind myself, and they had to remind me that it was a Marvel film. It was a Black Widow film. Cause like at first it was just like, a spy, Black Widow's are doing her thing, this and that. So I'm just like, okay, action scene. I'm like, okay. To me, it was just like a spy movie. And then once they name drop Thor or Iron Man or something like that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's a Marvel film. You feel me? So I kind of got that kind of feeling when I watched the movie.
no, I actually agree with you on that, but I kind of enjoyed the fact that it was a departure to what they normally do.
Hmm.
Because at this point, you see Black Widow, and 100%, if you don't know anything about this stuff, you're going to assume that's an origin movie, but it's
Yeah.
not. And I think that's what's kind of great about it is that with this character, you're not getting the origin story because you don't need that. Because, like,
Exactly.
now they've just opened the door to do a sequel, but obviously later on with the sister. But, like, still, Black Widow's an interchangeable character. So, like, it's kind of nice that you kind of get that outside of the Marvel feel because even her character is sort of outside of that kind of stuff that Marvel normally does. She's really in the thick of it doing the shady work that blurs the lines of is this the right thing to do or what am I like am I hurting millions of people? Like
Hmm.
sort of blurring that line. And like that's just what comes with her job. So I thought it was dope because like initially my first thought is like, oh, this feels like a James Bond movie. And they even throw in the James Bond reference in there. I think it was either Goldfinger or Thunderball. I can't remember which one it was. But anyways,
Hmm.
I thought that was just cool that they threw that little Easter egg in there. I was just like, oh, cool. It's definitely a Bond feel and an homage to all of that. So I thought it was great that they just made it feel different. Um, but I can see how like someone would just like kind of not like that because they're just like, no, I'm here for the same old thing. Like people
Yeah.
that come for that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that worked for them or not. It's just a feeling I had while watching the movie. At times, you know, throughout the movie, I'm like, okay, they actually made a lot of the stuff that Black Widow did. I'm like, you're close to Captain America level right now because she did a lot of things like super, like a super serum soldier would do. Um, like survive the freaking rocket launcher explosion when she was on the bridge, falling from the sky, uh, crashing her car in the station and still coming out alive. So I was just like, all right, cool. You have your own
She's just a
movie and you're
tough.
supposed to, level it up and you're supposed to be the main character to do whatever. But I'm just like, but your your level of damage or things you can do is comparable right now to Captain America, you know?
Hmm,
That
maybe
that's
it's
just
been
me.
too
That's just
long
me
since
when I
I've seen
watch
it, but
those
maybe
scenes.
maybe I need to see it again soon then
Yeah, that's
because
that's
like
why I got filled up for
mm,
when I watched those scenes. So I was just like, huh. I was like, yo, you can do all this, but I was like, how come you're not doing all this in the Avengers movie? but I don't.
because she's just so overshadowed by everyone else.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, I agree. That what happens. It's like, well, you have these superpowers, and what's funny? She even says it one time. She's when Captain America, no, when Iron Man, the first Avengers, when Iron Man and Thor was fighting and Captain America was gonna, stop him. And she was just like, you gotta stay out of this, Captain America. They are your lead. These are gods. And she was just like, and Captain America was like, nah, bro, I had to handle it. He jumped off the ship and all the other stuff. But now you have her doing everything Captain America is doing. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
I
It is
mean,
what it
hey,
is.
I can accept that stuff more often in a Marvel movie than I could in Fast Nine.
No,
Just
and you know
because,
what's
like,
funny? It
because
reminds
like
me
in
of Fast
Marvel, I'm
Nine.
like, because like in that movie, I'm like, you can do that because this is superhero, and I'm expecting unreal stuff. This is a movie about cars.
Yeah,
I
no, I
can't.
agree. I agree. At
But
least,
no, I get that though.
no, at least, no, I give it to Black Widow because at least she has some training. She's around superheroes,
Right.
so she has those, I guess, qualities and be able to handle herself. But yeah, I agree with Fast Nine. I'm
Right.
like,
It's like with
nigga,
Falcon.
yeah,
Like Falcon doesn't have powers, but he's got those crazy super like metal wings or whatever they are, and
that helps them.
he's got to keep up somehow.
No, I agree. I agree. How about the characters? Did you like any of the characters?
I loved Yelena.
Mm.
I loved that character, and I also really enjoyed shoot, what's his name?
Alexi?
Yes, Alexi. I
Hmm.
was trying to remember his like real name, but I can't. It's escaping my mind right now.
David. Um,
Dave Harbor. David
yeah.
Harbor.
Yep, there you
There it
go.
is. Thank you
Hmm.
very much.
No problem.
Yes, I like that actor a lot.
No,
Like
he's
I
good.
love like when he was the new Hellboy, I was really geeked. Even though the movie was bad, I still thought he did good as Hellboy. But I digress. But I liked him a lot, but I really liked Elena just because Florence Pugh, I don't know how to say her last name. So
Yeah.
uh I love that woman. She's such a great actress, I think, and God is she gorgeous. So
Oh
just
yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
yes, I'm all about that woman. She's a fantastic actress. She's always kicking butt.
Yo, in that movie, she was the comic relief because
Yeah,
obviously Black Widow was serious all the time. She can't. I'm sorry, she wasn't funny at all. So she was Yolanda was the comic relief in that movie, and like the way and the funniest thing, I ain't gonna lie, I laughed in the theaters when she was like making fun of Black Widow pose,
bro.
and she was just like, "Why do you pose like that?" And it's like, and Black Widow was like,
Look,
"What?" And it's like, "You just land like."
you do the
You do
pose.
this
Like, why you do
with the
pose?
hair.
Like,
and,
you do the
and,
whole thing, and you're like,
yo, I was
like,
that was
what
like
is that?
that's the only time like I was like, oh my god, she's funny, and that's what made me like her. I was like, oh, like you're pretty and you're funny. You're funny, so I was just like, nah, you're you're good. And
And then
then,
the whole vest thing.
mhm,
She's like, it's really cool, right?
yeah,
You love my
which
vest. I know you do.
yeah, I mean, I don't know if that was like just uh I know it's for laughs, but was there a purpose of the vest? Or it was just for laughs?
It's just a gag.
Okay, it was a gag. Yeah, because I was like,
Yeah, that was just the gag that they just
yeah.
did, and it's
This is
just
like,
because it's
okay,
just
that's
like
a
a random thing, just to give like levity and to kind of like, I guess, sort of like push the development of those two characters and sort of like remind Natasha like you did like like,
you
yeah,
did
it was
like the
fake, but you did love her as like a sister.
hmm
Like you did care about this person, and kind of it was just all there to just kind of force her to remember, like, hey, like you're not alone. Like you have family. Like you don't, like, yeah, it wasn't real, but like these people actually are here for you, even if like initially it was really messed up as to like why you're all together and you had no choice in it. But
You know
like,
what's funny? I'm surprised there wasn't a Dom meme about the family. You feel me? Because it was all about family. It was the perfect time, and I was busy. I should have done it, but it was a perfect time to make a Dom meme about family with that because you know it's crazy. Because basically, it was a a family movie. When you think about it,
eh,
relationships building, making them come together
yeah,
and
but on a deeper level though, it was a lot about trauma
mm, no,
and
yeah, I agree.
overcoming your past trauma and trying to accept your past so that you can move forward in the present.
No, that's good. No, you're right. If we go deeper, you're right. Because when you basically you have someone, and and when I say this, I'm not going political, but you have a man take control of women to do whatever he pleases and stuff like that. So it takes a woman to overpower that. So that's another way to kind of view the movie in that light.
Yeah, okay. And sort of you speaking to that, here's a gripe I do have with the
Okay.
movie, okay? So that whole scene, that whole like monologue that kind of goes down with her and that General Tarkov, was that his name? Or not Tarkov,
Dracoff.
that's Star Wars. Oh my gosh.
Dracoff.
Dracoff. Oh my
Or
god.
Dracov
I
or
just made a
Dracoff.
Star
I think it's
Wars.
Dracoff.
Either way, it was super Russian and the Russian bad guy. So her when she's facing off with him, right?
Hmm.
And she's like trying to hit him and she can't because of the whole pheromone thing
Yeah, Fairmont.
and the whole discussion they kind of get into. I cringed at the line that he said. And again, it was that big line that's leading up to just kind of like what he decided to do. And the line, if I remember correctly, it's something like he's like, I've tapped into the world's most unappreciated resource, girls. And I was just
Yeah.
like, what? That wasn't cool.
No, it wasn't.
That wasn't that wasn't profound. That's just you're just a pig, dude.
Yeah,
Like, what do you mean? Like,
exactly.
like it was so like I was just like, oh, so disgusted. But who knows? Maybe that was the point of that. Like him saying something like that and just being like, oh, you creep. Like you're such like you're a talking garbage can. Like, my God. But again, that plays into the whole trauma thing with like connecting back to the whole human trafficking stuff, like overcoming all like a ridiculous thing as such as that.
Yeah,
But
and
I
like,
mean, yeah, that was my one gripe is the villain's big line of saying that and just being like such a why did you say that?
moving on from that, like, how was the villain? You think he was a good villain
Actually,
for Black
I didn't
Widow,
think he was
or
terrible because like who's really more the villain, him or Task? I mean, I guess it's really more him.
yeah, more
Taskmaster's like
Dracoff? Well, we can toss on Taskmaster in a bit, but I feel
yeah, because
like,
that'll connect to what we're talking about now. But
yeah.
yeah, I mean, I do think there was something very intimidating about him
Mm-hmm.
up until that point. But like that whole that's the whole point in that dialogue moment though, where you kind of start to like see him as weak, where he's just really just like he's beating the shit out of her and she can't punch back, and he's just like he like really talking shit, and just because she's like talking shit at him, staying calm. Like you just see how much of a wuss and how much of a fucking baby this guy
Yeah, he
is.
is.
But
He's
like before that, he has this very intimidating presence because it's just like, yeah, like no one's ever heard of him. No one knows how evil he is. But motherfucker had a castle in the sky.
mm-hmm.
Uh I mean, not even just a cat, like a fortress in the sky. And was literally controlling the minds of millions of people across the planet. Like dude had some scariness to it. But yeah, then like, of course, as they did in that part, like it just sheds it all away. So I thought he was an effective villain compared to like some of the other ones they've had.
No, I agree. Yeah, he wasn't the best, but he wasn't the worst either. And then I think he fit the movie well. I mean,
Yeah.
even though like he couldn't really fight against Black Widow hand to hand combat style, but he had his certain ways of like, listen, you think I control all these women and not have protect myself with this pheromones and stuff like that. So yeah, I think he got the job done and he performed well. Um,
Absolutely.
you know, he like you said, he was kind of a wuss, but that what happens when you're the boss and you don't really do much and he just give orders, and it's funny that he was a good actor, but it's funny how he wasn't like built strong, was able to fight hand to hand combat wise. They chose kind of that version for him to be older, um, and not be able to defend himself. It's interesting why they chose that instead of someone who's capable of fighting Black Widow one on one.
Because okay, I don't know. This kind of just hit me with you posing this question, but
Yeah,
just kind of run with me here for a
go
second.
ahead.
Maybe the intention of doing that is because most often, and again, maybe this is just because it's relating to the whole trauma thing, which is like this is someone that has abused and literally
Mm-hmm.
controlled her life for, well, all of her life.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, there's that feeling when like you're a kid and someone's like, like affected you so negatively, like you feel powerless, you're useless, and because they're an adult, you're a little kid. What are you gonna do? But it's like one of those things where it's like now she's older too. Like she thought, well, again, she thought she completed the job, but she hadn't. So maybe it was just more of those things where it's like, time catches up to you and it's just like, yeah, or maybe they're trying to portray like the fact that like this men of this stature that seek power in these heinous ways are really just doing it to have a facade of like the fact that they're actually a very weak person. Like
Mm-hmm.
all this power that they're trying to attain, all this infamy, all this chaos they want to ensue. It's all just to make up for the fact that they're a giant.
It's funny. See, this is why you're a good co-host, because I never thought of that throughout the whole freaking movie. The whole time I wanted this to be like a Marvel film, and because it's a superhero movie. Yeah, we villains, bad guys, whatever. Yeah, you have certain themes they tackle and stuff like that, family, death, all that stuff. I I ain't gonna lie, I completely ignored the trauma part. Yeah, on the surface, I kind of understood, but the way you broke it down, I'm like, okay, yes, that's what I believe. I'm like, yes, it was about trauma, about how um you've been manipulated your whole life and you really can't do nothing about that. And when you try to do something about that, something comes up, you can't hit them, you can't fight back until you overcome that. So yeah, that trauma thing, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that.
Thank you, thank you. Shout out to random people on the internet making these connections and just me just thinking more about it. Just like, oh, that's an interesting thought. Like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just
Yeah,
kind of connect the dots on your own, you know?
yeah, I think going back to the characters, you know, Yolanda was the best one for me. Even at some points,
Yelena.
Elena, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Elena
no,
was.
yeah, like
Oh yeah,
yeah, Yelena,
Yelena,
Yelena.
Yelena, yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like Yelena was the best one, even at times better than Black Widow,
I
because
I agree.
Black Widow was more reserved, was I like people that are funny, but she have no funny points. She tries to be, but of course, she has a dark past, so it's hard for her to open up. Um, so she
But
kind of bring,
she did a
huh?
great job though, overall. Like I know what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
she still did, she brought to the table exactly what people wanted out of
yeah,
like that character. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like she knows
um,
what to bring.
yeah. And then you had Alexi, um, aka Red Guardian, which is funny because like he admires Captain America so much, or wanted to be like next
Yes.
to him, but
Yes.
he has so much flaws. He can't be. Yeah, you have the strength and you have the maybe the ability to become him, but you're
Yeah.
lazy. You don't know how to, coordinate your moves. You don't really know how to be a superhero. So that's why you can't be on par with Captain America.
Yeah, delusions of grandeur for that
Yep.
character for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that's a very good point there. I never thought of that. It's just like he wasn't truly worthy of the job because like I remember like in the movie, if I remember correctly, he talks about how like he did everything they ever asked of him and then they still threw him in, threw him in fucking
Prison.
jail.
Exactly. Because it was amazing. Like in the beginning of the movie, when he was playing the dad, um, and then they were trying to escape on the plane, and he just lifted. I forgot what he lifted, but he just moved the heavy stuff. He moved it to the side. I'm like, oh, he got super strength. I'm like, I didn't know that.
Well,
So
yeah, so like the thing is like he had the super soldier serum too.
yeah, but it wasn't. He had the super serum, but I guess he wasn't equipped enough to be in the front lines because he was on babysitting duty with the kids and stuff like that. And
Was it is like he like messed up too many times in the field or something?
I
Now
don't
that you
know.
say that, I think it was
That's
because he
probably
kept
that's probably
like just.
why.
I think it was just he was just like yes, like I'm going to go. Like he just like was just bashing uncontrollably. So they're
Hmm.
probably like, okay, we can't control this fool, so throw him away.
Yeah, and then you have Melina, Melina or Melena. I think it's Melena. Yeah, you have Melena, the mom. Turns out she was she entered the program. She's a Black Widow. Um, and they did that switcheroo, her pretending to be Romanoff, and then all the stuff to enter the facility. So I don't know. It was the characters really focused on those four characters, and the villain,
Hmm.
and mm,
I did not see that whole switcheroo thing coming. I couldn't believe I didn't see that coming. I was
no,
just like, oh,
I didn't
of
see it either.
course.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
didn't
of
see it
course.
either.
I thought that was a great little twist there.
Mm-hmm.
However, one twist that I did call and I saw coming after the whole like she thought she killed him, but like she also took the daughter with him, and like obviously he was alive. Well, I was like, well, if he's alive,
Then yeah,
I think I know
because
who Taskmaster is. And
I didn't see. Well, yeah, they kind of. I don't know if I saw that to be to begin with, but go ahead.
but I thought that was an interesting twist for the character Taskmaster because like that is not the understanding of the character that I had.
Yeah, I was, to be honest, ain't gonna lie, I was disappointed. Um, because Taskmaster is supposed to be like a really good villain, have his own thing. I don't know what his real name is.
Yeah, I
But
don't remember his name either, but I know it
yeah,
was specifically like a person.
yeah, a person like he can talk. I think he's like a Deadpool rival, and they fight a lot and stuff like that. So the way they did it, where she was just like mute and it was her the whole time, I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm not feeling it. Don't bring Taskmaster to something like this. I'm sorry. He should be like his own villain. On, he should be the main villain, not a side off villain, and end
Yeah.
up being a good guy at the end.
Yeah,
But
to be
like,
fair though, I feel like I think we're going to see more of that
no,
character. I
no,
think
we
so.
will. No, to be honest, like
But
I
I
think,
think a lot of people are in the same boat as you though, man. I
mm-hmm,
think a lot of people were disappointed by that. I thought it was an interesting take. I tried to be positive with it. I was like, I think that's an interesting take. That's something that people really expected. Um, but yeah, because like the original Taskmaster, he like wasn't built to have that skill. Like he had like a weird skill where he was just able to like watch
yeah,
something and he's just like, all right, I can
exactly.
do it.
It
But
wasn't like
like,
it wasn't like a recording or something like that. It was like, I guess, maybe a mutant power.
well,
I'm not sure. I have to look into it
see,
more.
like that, and see, that's why I'm okay with the take they did because I feel like they would have had a really hard time of explaining how this guy inexplicably has this skill
Mm-hmm.
because they haven't really set up anything else to like make that something make sense at
Mm-hmm.
least to this point.
Yeah.
So I was kind of okay with that.
Yeah.
But like, so like their explanation is it's like they somehow brought her back to life, but like also just like implanted stuff in her brain to just like make her superhuman and
Hmm.
crap like that. Doing that, I thought it was an interesting take, but like, yeah, they super underutilized Taskmaster.
No, they did.
Like
They definitely
it
did.
that Taskmaster was overhyped as the villain, and I was a little bummed because like I think Taskmaster's a really fun villain to like go up
Exactly.
against.
And to be
So
honest, I think I read something about them. They're saying they're gonna bring them back to the MCU in a new way. So I'm gonna look into that and hopefully that's true because
well, they could once you finish up Loki, you'll see what I'm talking about.
yeah. Um
Um,
so
but
yeah,
yeah, and
hope he comes back, bro. But
now, did you watch the post credit scene?
yes.
Did that
Uh
make sense? Did you watch Falcon and Winter Soldier where
no.
that can make
Not
sense?
I haven't
Who
watched it yet. I haven't
who
watched it yet.
man, what is her name? It is Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Boom! Nailed it. That's her name.
Hmm.
So, just to kind of clue you in on it without spoiling too much,
Yeah.
and I don't think I will. So, she is this in the comics. Valentina is this person who puts together her own super team. She's kind of like this weird, shady character where she has her own Black Widow, her own Captain America, and her own versions of these people, where she forms a group called the Dark Avengers.
Mm.
So it is theorized she is a person that is assembling these Dark Avengers.
Mm.
So,
Interesting.
so hopefully that doesn't spoil too much. You'll kind of see who she recruits by the end of uh
Winter Soldier, Falcon and
Winter
Winter Soldier.
Falcon and Winter Soldier because she makes a couple appearances in that. And then for her to make an appearance in this movie is another big deal because that was actually a scene that is supposed to kind of hype you up for Hawkeye later this fall
Mm.
because that is where she's going to appear next
Gotcha.
as she
So,
shows, a picture of Clint Barton at
so
the
is
end
he
of the
gonna?
movie too.
Yeah. So is he gonna be like another Nick Fury type of person, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna call her a wannabe Nick Fury for sure
Wanna
because
be Nick Fury.
you can't live up to Nick Fury,
Yeah, I
dude.
know.
The
No,
hell.
I know. I know. It's just like a clone. I know. But yeah, I'm excited for this. Um, for what MCU have. But going back to Black Widow, I think overall, we're gonna start rating the movie right now. So overall, I give it mm, a 6.5.
6.5. I am
Yeah.
going to give it a 7.
Okay.
I actually had it at I think an 8 maybe
Yeah.
before, but then I just saw the Suicide Squad and it's definitely a 7. This movie's definitely a 7.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It was a again to recap. It was a they should have made this movie before. Um, I guess the pressures of them wanting to have another female superhero, maybe that pushed them to make this movie, or just everyone upset that Black Widow died at the end for the way they pushed this movie. I don't know what the reason is why they make a Black Widow movie towards the end, especially after she died. Maybe more money, but
I mean, it kind of feels like we got a 2-hour movie just to have like an understanding at the very end that Yelena is taking over as Black Widow.
exactly, it was a
Like you got 2 hours of a movie to be like, oh yeah, she's the new this is why we made it. She's the new one.
exactly. I'm like, but did you really have to spend?
But that's
Oh,
kind of yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, dude. That's why they made the character so funny. That's why they made Yelena so likable, so
Hmm.
funny, so charismatic. Is so
Hmm.
that people are just like, hey, get used to her. This is the new gal.
Yeah, and I think, and to go with your statement, I guess okay. How can we bring this character to light? So she could be in the Dark Avengers. Um, okay, let's make it a Black Widow film, and by doing that, we can also bank that Black Widow is gonna give us like X amount of dollars, it's a win-win situation for them. I guess that's probably what they thought. But unfortunately, that's not the case because we're gonna go. So we're gonna get into the how much Black Widow actually made, and kind of I guess the box office disappointment um that it had. So you know, Black Widow, I believe, I'm not sure the amount, but it made a good amount of money the first weekend it dropped. But after the second week, it dropped 69%. And that's like the first Marvel movie that ever did that. So, everyone says, oh yeah, it's COVID, is this, is that. It's because of it was on streaming. To be honest, I don't believe that was the case because right now you can't blame movies on COVID. I don't care what you say. And you can't blame movies on COVID anymore because Fast 9 made X amount of dollars, even though it was, we already talked about Fast 9, but it passes limits. Same thing with The Quiet Place. The Quiet Place did very well. Same thing with other movies. Um, it's just Black Widow didn't hit the mark with a lot of people.
Interesting.
How you feel about that?
I I don't know, man. That's kind of wild. So like how much did Black Widow make? And
Black
do we
Widow
have like the
made
numbers they had from
Yeah, Black Widow
streaming?
made worldwide. It makes 360 million right now. Um, Domestically, it made 174 million, a little bit over.
So
So
that's not terrible.
I mean, that ain't terrible, but
I'm willing
no.
to blame uh COVID and the streaming service because I really do think that people didn't go see it because they're still super hesitant. Like I still go to the movies because like we're at a point now where people aren't hesitant. If this movie had come out like August, if they pushed it again and put it to August, I bet you would probably be doing more money, making more money now.
Okay.
Well, that's just what I think, but I don't know.
Right.
I
So,
do think the streaming has something to do with it too. But like, how much money did it make off of streaming?
I don't think
Do
I don't
they
think
even release that number?
not really. They typically don't. Uh, Let me find out. Streaming.
So from the opening, so from what, so
Yeah, they haven't put out those numbers on streaming, so I don't know.
something on Forbes is saying that it made $60 million, like over 60 million on Disney Plus.
Mm. So
So
that put her
I
about
wonder if that's
60
been more
million
since then
cheaper.
because this is an older article.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is from like July, so like this is like a month old, so it's probably made more at this point.
yeah. Well, I don't know. It's when you compare it to other movies, like I said, when you compare to other movies or Quiet Place, Fast 9, they made their numbers, even with COVID.
What did
Granted,
Fast Nine make?
huh?
What did Fast Nine make? Because I
Fast
truly don't
9
know.
made worldwide 600, about almost 670.
Why? Unbelievable. That makes me furious.
Yeah.
God, we
So
have a world full of airheads. Oh my God. All right, I
it's
take that back. That's severe, but
yeah. No, but I mean, Fast 9, well, they and to be honest, you can say
interesting.
like Fast 9, had a franchise to help them. I'm like, Marvel does have a
I was
franchise
gonna
too,
say this. So do they.
so you
So
can't blame
yeah,
them
I
on
don't
that.
know what the deal is then.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Like I said, there's still time, but I don't think they're gonna reach the typical Marvel numbers that we typically get. Because if you decrease 69% the second week, then you're you're not gonna catch up. I don't see it
Yeah,
catching up.
I
So
got you.
those numbers
You
that we
know, I
typically get.
wonder if they try again though with Florence Pugh as just like the front, like, no Scarlett Johansson
Yeah,
anymore.
with just her.
Like, I wonder if they try again and if it does better. I don't know. I think Scarlett Johansson's pretty great though, so
Yeah, no.
I don't think it's like her doing that's this movie's not doing well. Um,
Um, I don't know. I think people just wasn't that hyped up for it.
it and you know what? Again, I'm gonna say you can blame the pandemic, but this time I'm saying it in the fact that it got pushed a
Yeah,
year
I got pushed like 3 times.
because of the pandemic. It got put, so like in a sense, you can blame the pandemic because it's a movie we should have had last year. Like
Okay,
if
I'm
it
gonna
had
fight
been
back with that.
last year, it would have made more money.
Yeah, no, I agree. If we had no pandemic, it probably would have made more
It
money.
it would
I
have been
think.
it would have been
Okay, then
fine.
I think Fast Nine probably would have been at $1 billion.
100%. No, you're right.
Yeah.
It probably would have made $1 billion
Hmm.
if there was no COVID.
Yeah.
1,000%. I would find that egregious and outrageous, but also I would get it. I'd just be like, yeah, that's
So
got a
I
pretty big
mean,
franchise.
so we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see if now, unfortunately, they're gonna they might call Black. I have to look at other numbers to check if because I know Thor, freaking Dark Worlds was terrible. Um, I don't
That'll
know how much
probably
they
be
made.
the biggest flop, that or
Yeah. No, I
the
mean money wise,
Incredible
maybe
Hulk.
I don't know, but we'll see. But financial wise, um, Black Widow's towards the bottom. So
Eek.
it
Yeah,
is
not
what it
good for
is,
them.
man.
Yeah.
Now,
So onto the lawsuit.
yeah, yeah, okay,
What do you
so
think about
yeah,
it?
so I'm gonna tell my opinion. So what I think about the lawsuit, as soon as I read that, I'm like, oh damn, I'm thinking, is she mad because her movie did poorly? You know?
Mm-mm. No.
No, no, no. I know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know. This is when I first saw it. I ain't reading anything more of
Oh,
it.
I got you.
When I first saw it, I thought she was mad because her movie did poorly. So now when I read into it, she's upset because Disney violated their contract and put the movie on Disney Plus, which she probably don't get compensated if you put it on a streaming service because she get compensated for movie tickets,
Correct.
and how the movie's done in theaters and stuff. So I'm not mad that she did that. Like, hey, because if it was the other around and Scarlett Johansson violated her contract or any other Marvel character violated her contract, any other corporation, especially Disney, will be quick to be like, "Oh no, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to do this because you violated your contract." So she has the right to do the same thing because it's a contract that
Preach.
you signed, and you have to pay for it. So you have to stand up. So applause to Scarlett Johansson for doing the right thing and putting these companies um in their place.
No, I completely agree, dude. 100%. And I didn't see that it was in fact like against, like they broke the contract. What I thought was like they're trying to get away with this being like, oh no, in your contract it just says movie sales. Like you've gotten your money from that. Like you don't need to be greedy. It's just like, hold up, dude. You guys released 20 movies one year and 7 of them made $1 billion.
Exactly.
You're going to tell me you don't got extra scrap for my girl Scarlett Johansson? Like, give me a break, dude. Like, absolutely, she's entitled to some percentage of the streaming because that's what they're getting away with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that when they're doing that sort of simultaneous release, they are taking all of the revenue. It's going to no one that worked on the movie, not the director, not a producer, not the man that holds the camera, the boom guy, nobody.
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd.
Mm-hmm.
Give a percentage to the people.
No, I agree.
Especially, and I'm gonna put you on blast for a second, Disney. Y'all can't talk, especially after you just had 17 employees who were just arrested for a child sex trafficking ring.
Oh wow, I
Give
ain't
me
heard
a
about
break.
that.
You didn't hear about that? Dude,
No.
17 employees were
Yeah.
caught trafficking children.
Mm, mm. Yeah,
I mean,
man. That's
granted, they're gone. Thank you for cleaning that up. But yo,
yeah.
vet your
No, but
employees better and pay your employees. Dang.
man, listen, Hollywood is a messed up. It's a
Bro, that's not
uh,
even Hollywood. Like, that was people at Disneyland or like Disney World. Like, that's just the
Hollywood,
theme park.
Disney. Hey,
That's
they
just
have their demons. So
corporations. There we go.
no.
That's just corporations.
No, I agree. Um, it's just the fact that you know, and I was reading more about um, you know, the how they do the streaming and how Warner Brothers dropped all their movies to HBO Max, and I even know this until I read it. Like, you know, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, and the director of Wonder Woman was just like, no, you need to pay me my money. So Warner Brothers paid them because they did that because they didn't want to fight. So Warner Brothers did their thing before it got like before they get sued. Now
Mhm.
Disney not getting the heat of it. So that's why they really didn't hear about
Because Warner Brothers
Warner
just like, fine,
Brothers.
fine, fine. Because they were
Yeah,
already
it was like,
going
here
through
you go,
that
here you
stuff
go.
with
And I was just like,
what's his
okay,
name?
they settled it.
Ray
I'm like,
Fisher.
cool. Yeah. So now we're hearing like, okay. And then I think Kevin Feige I said he's embarrassed that this happened. I didn't read too much about what he said, but I just saw that
Yeah,
he was
I
embarrassed.
saw he made that statement, but
Yeah, he
like
was
I don't know
embarrassed that this
anything else.
happened and stuff. I'm like, bro, yeah, I don't know, bro.
Because
I
it's not
ain't
like
think
it's his job to pay the people. I don't
no,
think.
it's
Like,
not.
he's just the creative guy.
Yeah, he's just he has his own stuff to handle and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but he's the face of the company. Of course, they're gonna talk about him and probably ask him questions and stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully, to be honest, I think they're gonna settle and she gonna get her money. Um,
Shit.
and I also read that their Disney response to her saying that was, "Oh, you're not. We had a pandemic. You're not thinking of that. This, that."
Yeah,
I was like,
they
"Shut
said they
up."
were like sad or like disappointed and
Yeah,
like
this is like,
it's just like,
oh,
dude,
I'm like, no, no, no,
whatever.
yeah, don't give me that pandemic. Everyone trying to, I hate the COVID excuse now. I'm like, it's too late. You can't bring the COVID excuse or
No more
pandemic
COVID.
excuse.
You're tired of the COVID. No more COVID excuses.
Exactly, bro. I'm like, yo, get it out of here. Pay the damn lady because you have billions of dollars. Pay the lady because you violated the contract or you trying to get extra money to put it on streaming and stuff. So no, no, I'm not with that. Nah. But yeah, man, Disney, and unfortunately now, I mean, she wasn't gonna come in anyway. But Scarlett Johansson and Black Widow is done. Like, I don't see them doing anything together anymore.
Yeah, she's probably just like ready to get out now after
Yeah,
this. Like, she's like, give me the money. We're good now.
it's
No more
unfortunate.
Marvel for me.
How you feel about you know, well, we're gonna wrap up here, but I just want you to ask one more question. How you feel about
Sure.
you know, none of the characters, Chris Evans, um, Tony, not Tony Stark, Robert
Robert
Downey
Downey.
Jr. and all those other Marvel characters like not saying anything. You think they should say something, or you think they should keep their mouth shut because of the legal stuff?
I mean, if I don't know their relationship with the person. I assume on some level they're probably like all cool, very cool, cordial. Like none of them hate each other. Like they all are like, yeah, love that guy, but like they just don't like hang out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really care that they didn't say anything.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, I don't know if they're really cool with that person. I think it makes sense. Like, it's just like, okay, they're just supporting their friend, what they think they should owe. The fact that they don't speak up just is kind of like, it doesn't mean they don't care about her. It doesn't mean like they don't think she doesn't deserve. It's just more of like, that's her business. Maybe they probably got shit to do like a normal person. Like, that's just the way I see it. Like,
Yeah.
they don't always need backup. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like that. You know,
Yeah.
I
And you got the
think
lures for that. Yeah. All right, cool. So thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you gained something, and uh hopefully you enjoyed the movie as well as Sam did. But leave a comment below. Tell us what you think about the Black Widow. Tell us what you think, how our conversation went. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? And to give us more feedback on what movies we should record. We love movies, we love TV, we love entertainment, and we can talk about this for hours. But we're not going to talk your head off. So like our page, follow our page, Fate Podcast on YouTube and on Instagram, and see you next time. Peace.
peace.